ladies and young girls. Well, young ladies. So, as promised, this is Girl Talk. So, if you don't know, I'm Shy.
I'm Heaven.
I'm Shanti.
And so we're here just to talk about it. So, ladies, you may be familiar because we've done the Ladies Let's Talk. And so this is the younger generation's version of it. We want to hear what they have to say. We want to be able to share what we have to say and just talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. So if you're watching this, if you can tag someone, like, comment, share, and normally I wait for at least a couple people to get on, but we're just going to get into it. There is going to be a part 2 next week, so you'll be able to see this video again and hopefully be able to join us the next go around. Oh, I just do that. I need that. So I'm going to go ahead and start first, and with a question that I have. I hear it often with women my age and older, or just close to, in reference to friends. Not having a lot of female friends, not really trusting other women. So that's the question I'm asking y'all.
Like, what's the question? Why we don't have more friends?
Why I'm asking, what does your friends list look like in real life?
I have 2 friends.
I have 3, and 2 of those are girls.
So why so low?
Because females nowadays, they don't care about friendship.
They're not trustworthy.
They do a lot of things that benefit themselves rather than the friendship.
Drama. A lot
Very
of that.
messy.
So this is pretty much the same thing you will hear in the older generation. So if you think about it for a minute, if you have our generation and we feel like we do not have a lot of women that are true friends, and then we have this generation coming up saying the same thing, well, then we can see how that's going to affect women empowerment, how that's going to just affect that whole paradigm where we should be coming together and not separating ourselves. So that is actually one thing that we have in common. So we just discovered that on Girls Talk. So I could ask another question, but what do y'all have for me?
You want to go first?
Yeah. My question is, why do some older women try to downgrade younger women?
So my experience with that, because I did experience, as a teenager, I started to work with teenagers, and the whole downgrading thing, a lot of it is just traditionalism, just doing what was done to them. I've experienced a lot of it being ignorance, just not knowing how to communicate or relate with the younger generation. So instead of inquiring, it's like, no, they're doing too much. That's not, of God if you're in the church, or they're fast. So actually, that's how I came about. If you know my story, is because I noticed that there was a separation and a distance, and like, what are we doing? We can't lose the next generation because of the things that we didn't learn. So I would say, if I had to do a top 3, it would be we just don't know. Because we weren't taught. We came from a generation where we wasn't allowed to be free and ourselves. The number 2 thing would be envious. Some people are actually jealous. And that could be a personal thing. But and then number 3 would be being afraid to actually pull down our barriers, to share our stories, to let y'all know how pretty much we're the same. But instead of doing that, oftentimes we come off judging when it's like, hey, I did that too. So, what y'all think about that?
I agree. I understand.
Y'all need to open up somewhere. New generation, it's all about being yourself, opening up. So I think you should hop on the bandwagon.
And I agree. So again, if you follow Healing for Her LLC, that's what it's all about. Tearing down barriers, connecting with the younger generations, and just building a bridge or repairing the bridge that has been torn down. So my next question will be, now me coming up, yes, we experienced some things in my generation, but you guys are coming up in an age where it's just a whole lot different. You know, we have a special president in office, so it's not just affecting you know, parents per se. We have kids that are, you know, being affected because they're being ripped from their families or scared to go to school or seek help. So in reference to the day and age that you guys are growing up in, with there being a high rate of suicide in the teenage world, the rates are growing, even the younger kids in elementary school. How does that, one, have you guys been affected by that closely, meaning like you know somebody that knows somebody, if not you directly, or that has, you know, been affected by suicide, gang violence, even health? A lot of kids are passing, you know, just due to health causes. So what do you guys think about that current epidemic that's going on right now?
I would say, well, I had a friend that went to Altaloma, and he actually committed suicide because he was being bullied and all that, and he didn't have any friends at the school that he goes to, so he committed suicide.
Okay, and since you said that was a friend, how did that affect you, or how did you see that it affected, you know, those that were close?
Well, I would say it affected me because, like, I feel like I could be an outlet or someone to talk to, but he didn't feel that way because he felt like everyone was against him because of a previous situation. So I just learned to, like, always check up on people, stuff like that.
What about you?
My aspect on it is, I think some kids commit suicide or think that's their only option because they think they don't have anybody to talk to, because our generation will make fun of somebody or bully them even more or make them actually do it. And then the older generation, sometimes they feel like they can't go to their teachers or something because they just don't care enough.
And sometimes teachers downplay too, so
yeah.
Okay. I have heard that a lot about teachers. I have a little one that is starting school in about a week and a half, and that is one of my concerns because, again, the day and age has changed. Not that in past tense you didn't have to be concerned about your kids, but things have just changed a lot. You got a question?
Have you have a question? She didn't answer her question. I mean, ask her question.
Oh yeah, you asked the first question, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I would say is, why do the older generation, say for instance, if we put on a song and it has like cussing and all this bad stuff in it, they think that's how we act based off the music that we listen to.
Like city girls.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now, just to be honest, I haven't listened to the song all the way through, so I can't comment as far as, you know. I think certain music is appropriate for certain age groups, and if you expose yourself to something that you are not mature enough to handle. So a lot of times, like, I listen to, I love music, all kind of music. And my thing is, I was able to listen to pretty much any type of music because I love the beat. So, but edited version. Because when I would hear the unedited version, I'd be like, oh Lord, like I really would be clutching my pearls, and I'm not old at all, but it's just some stuff is appropriate, some stuff is not. Some stuff it exposes you to things that you may not be aware of because it does get in your spirit. Like you play the same song over and over again, like whether it's a happy song, you're gonna be, pumped. If it's a love song, you're gonna be like, oh my god. And if it's, just it does get in your spirit. So one, you just want to be careful of that. And again, I think it's just a traditional thing. Like, all music that is not gospel and Christian music is bad per se. But I personally think it's still an age appropriation to the music. So if I had a teen, I don't know if I want her to have a hot girl summer. Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if she was 21 up, I really can't do nothing about her hot girl summer. So it's just the age. Let's go according with age. But I think a lot of that, again, is not Bible. It's not something we were told. It's just like, why are y'all listening to that? Like, I'm not about to let my kid listen to Trina. Some parents will. I'm not. Like, Oh, wow. She just said, who's Trina? So, Trina was like our city girl.
Yes.
So that was our...
Name a song.
Me?
Yeah. Since you know who Trina is.
Her remix is a cuss word in it.
What remix?
She made a remix. It's called F1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we know Trina. So that would be that's my answer to that. Of course, this is a live. Once you guys see this, put it in the comments, what you think, and how you want to, comment on it. So right now we're talking about music. Why when the older generation hear it, they be like, oh my God, why they listening to that? And so you can comment in the comments below, and I'll be able to check them in a second. I'm working on that. So my next question would be, it's gonna get kind of deep right here, but it's first of all, I just learned about this guy. It was a billionaire, the one that's locked up. They just recently found him in his jail cell, harmed himself. They think he did it, but they're not ruling out someone attacking him, where he was sex trafficking young girls. So, one, are you guys aware of that? Do you guys feel like it's close enough to be concerned, or that won't happen to us or anyone we know? And do they even talk about this in school, or if y'all in sports and all that type of stuff?
I'm not so worried about it for myself, even though it is in the same city that my school is in, but mostly because my school talks about it a lot and stuff to identify what's going on and stuff and how to handle it. So I'm not scared myself.
For me, I heard like your comment on sports, but they do talking about it. Like if we ever have a bus ride, because there has been times where somebody is driving the bus or whatever that can harm us, and what to do if that happens. But do I see it happening to me? No. Could it? Yeah. But I just don't think like that.
So then how do you prepare or make sure that you're just good the best way that you can? Like if you walk to or from school, or if you're just out with your friends at the mall, at the movies, at just like whatever, how do you make sure like, you're just aware of your surroundings and the whole not talking to stranger thing? I mean, the older you get, that could change because, I know y'all like boys. So, so I'm just saying, how does it work in that aspect?
Well, when I used to walk to school, I would FaceTime somebody like while I'm walking. So, and then like my mom would already always know where I'm at. So it was never a problem. Like no one knows where I'm at or nothing like that.
For me, I don't walk to school or walk home from school, but if I'm out with friends, I usually do look at my surroundings, see who's looking at us more than they should be, or who's trying to approach us, who's too close to us, because you always have to be alert all the time, especially in my city because it's a big thing.
Okay. So I'm happy to hear that, schools are talking about it. Like Shanti said, it's a big thing at her school that they talk about and educate them on. So for the women out there that's watching, I would encourage you, it's no perfect time to start. It's just right now, have a talk with your daughters, your nieces, just young girls that you know. If you're a leader in a church or a community, just make sure that they're aware of what's going on, and even if they know someone, that's gotten caught up in that situation, on how they can possibly, provide information or, tips to help, get that person back home with their family. So I am happy to hear that it's a topic that's being discussed.
Should I check the comments?
Let's see. I don't know if y'all are commenting, but I can't pull it up on my tablet. So, and it's not.
You just flipped the camera.
Oh, I did. So yeah, I don't know. Y'all see, was just trying to figure it out. So if y'all can actually comment, one, to make sure that y'all can hear us, and so we can see any comments. Do y'all have any input or questions that y'all want to ask the young ladies while we're doing this? So I was able to see some of the comments, but just in case there's any more.
Thank you for that cute comment. Thank you.
Real one.
What?
Somebody said that we was cute.
Oh.
Fiasha said.
Byron's daughter.
Oh.
I can hear y'all. Okay. Good. So, did you have another question, Shanti?
Yeah. Okay. Why do moms be so strict on their daughters about things that they are doing right now when moms did the same thing in the past?
Okay, I'm going to repeat that just in case you didn't hear it. Why are moms so strict on their daughters about the things that they're doing when they've done the same thing in the past?
Such as talk to boys and things.
Such as talk to boys and things. Oh, sneak out. Oh, we're sneaking out?
No, it's just an example. Sneaking out, talking to boys, smoking, drinking, stuff like that.
So, moms, do you want to comment? I see a mom. Chantel, do you want to comment?
Don't comment.
On why that may be a concern?
It's not a concern. Look at you. Don't know how to answer the question.
Because I have two different perspectives on that. Because with my mom, I'll be like, she wouldn't let me live. Like, she wouldn't let me be, the teenager or the young adult. It was like, what are you doing? I need to be in your business. I'm opening up your mail. Picking up the other phone. That's back in the day. You'll pick up the other house phone. So for me, although Nyla is 5, I did take part in raising my niece, and I wanted to give her the liberty of just being a teen and a young adult. So I didn't bombard her life, but I did my best to make sure that the lines of communications were open. So if I needed to address something or I had a concern about something, it was just that, a conversation, instead of feeling like it was a judgment, and vice versa. Because I want you to be able to come to me and tell me stuff or ask me questions, because I know what it's like to not have that. So I think it comes from for me, it's just that concern, because you are girls and we do go through a lot. A lot of us mature faster than boys. and we get exposed to a lot of things. So fear for me would be a aspect of it, just trying to protect, not knowing that it's really not helping in some cases. And I would say probably just personal experience.
To comment on what you just said, strict parents create sneaky children. Let me just say that.
Say that again.
Strict parents create sneaky children. Like, if you don't let your kid go out and experience, it's 2019. Like, they're gonna find other ways to go experience that behind your back. So, would you rather have your child, like, know what your child is experiencing, or not know?
Okay, so it says, it's not the same from when you were growing up. I'll give you all the freedom in the world until you do something to break the trust. Now, that's true.
Very much.
And I did comment on that earlier in the video about the day and time that you guys are growing up in. Like, we didn't have to worry about sex trafficking. Not that it wasn't happening, but it wasn't happening to where it was like an epidemic. We didn't have to worry about, just walking down the street and being snatched. Like, we didn't have to worry about going to school and being beat up and going viral. We didn't like, you guys have this whole internet piece that makes things even harder or worse. So it's not, back in the day, if your kid went to school and they got bullied or something like that, or talked about because you let them date and now all the girls think they're fast, it was kind of isolated. Like, I can deal with this, it's just with people in the neighborhood. But now, y'all can take this stuff and expose it and really mess up someone's life. So it's a different protection per se that's needed. And just in case y'all forgot, there's no real parenting book. So some of this stuff is trial and error. And if you've done something in the past, then yeah, it's going to affect what you're able to do right now. Let me see.
The devil is a lie.
No millennium kids, no matter what, 1987 or 2020. What that mean, Fiasha, when you say the different years, in reference to what? Millennium.
Millennium.
So that would be, that's my take on it. Again, as y'all watch this video, even when you catch it on replay, put the comments there. So when we do part 2, we can speak to those comments and then, pick up from there with a new conversation. So that's going to be a good one. I think a lot of people are going to comment like after the fact. It's not about being strict. It's about the parents being already aware of what's out there and want to avoid making the same wrong choices.
You learn from your mistakes.
I agree with that, but even with some of our parents telling us, we didn't listen.
That's what I'm saying.
Some kids learn by watching others. Some kids learn by it being their experience. And some kids learn by both, depending on the situation. So that's why I said in certain instances, I kind of differ with it. Like, I'm going to let you live a little bit, but I am about to let you put yourself in a situation that's going to cause everything or other people to be affected. But we're trying to warn, but then if you don't listen, then yeah, we have to let you go through that consequence and figure it out on your own.
Y'all didn't listen.
Listen to what?
Like, say for instance, right, I'm the mom. Don't go out past this time. Y'all didn't listen. Like, so no.
I didn't even start going out till like in my 20s. So at that point, no, I didn't listen. Because I'm like, first of all, I'm grown. And when do I go out? Like, I didn't start even clubbing till I was, I think, at 20, from 23 to 24. Like, it was real short. And so I was still living at home. I moved out when I was 24. And for me, it was like, I'm leaving at 10 o'clock at night. You really think I'm about to be back in this house at 2 or 12? So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So sometimes, I would just take one for the team because I already know I'm not about to do that. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Of course, we didn't listen, and they don't listen either. Just make sure you're a leader and not a follower. So yeah, we kind of talked about that earlier. So I remember in high school, so I ain't gonna say the name, but it was a high school in Ontario that I went to my freshman and sophomore year. And there was always riots and fighting and stuff like that. In my sophomore year, if you know me, you know I go by 2 names, Monique and Sharia. Sharia is my real government name. That's the name I'm using
Sharia
lately.
is the
And
white
so,
one, and Monique
and
is
that's
black.
when that's where I get shy from. So in school, they thought I was 2 different people because there was a fight. Police and all that got called because the girl ended up having a seizure and all that. So when I get in the office, and they're like, what's your name? And I tell them my name. They're like, no, isn't your name this? I said, that's my middle name. And it's like, all this time, we thought you were 2 different people. So in their head, like, oh my God, we caught her. I don't know what I was doing that bad for them to really be looking for me. But after that incident, because of course, you know, you ain't supposed to snitch on your friends. Of course, we in there, we pleading for our life. The girl, you know, put everything on me. I actually told the truth, but you know, whatever. So after that, I had already established myself. I am who I am, and I know what it is that I'm about, what I'm gonna do and not do. So literally after that, it was I got suspended. It was a holiday weekend. So when I went back to school, I didn't hang with nobody. So it was like the crew was on the left, the other crew was on the right, and I literally sat on the wall in between both of them. Now, wasn't nobody messing with me. They know who I am, but I disassociated myself. Because what I was now being associated with, I wasn't cool with. So in 10th grade, I had to make a choice and decision that, am I going to be cool with that or am I not going to be cool with that? So do you guys find that hard to do in your generation? I'm fine with being a loner because I've been a leader by nature, but I'm not going to lead over something that's totally against what it is that I'm going for. So... with y'all?
No, I don't find it difficult because, I mean, other kids in our generation do find it difficult because they want to be popular. That's what they want to be in high school because who doesn't want to be popular? I, myself, most of the popular kids are doing something because they see the other popular kid doing it. So they want to do it to be popular. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be jumping people, stealing stuff, going to every party, disrespecting my parents. I don't want to do that. I like to be respectful, do what I need to do to get done for my future and stuff. They thinking in the present, you need to be thinking in the future because we're older now. You need to be mature, and they're just being kids about it.
My outlook on this whole situation is not the problem with distancing yourself. It's the problem when other people see you distancing yourself. So then you're like, a lot of kids would be, oh, she's fake. She don't talk to us no more. Like, it's not a problem for me to distance myself. It's a problem for other people. So like I said, oh, she's fake. Or, oh, I'm not her friend no more because she not hanging out with us. She not doing this with us. She not doing that with us. So then that creates a problem because 9 times out of 10 they're going to take it to social media. You're going to hear it better around school. And if the person, quote unquote person who's saying all this is well known around the school, they're going to have the whole school, oh, she's fake, oh, she's fake. I don't care what other people think of me, but as an individual, that's a lot.
Yep.
So then would you still continue to do what it is that you're doing, whether the whole school's looking at you crazy or not?
I probably would, but it may create more problems than what I was in before. I feel like that's also another reason why kids commit suicide. Like,
well, I just feel like if you're gonna stand for yourself, then just stand for yourself. Because y'all, okay, y'all team, 1 minute is in to do this, the next minute is in to do that. 1 minute is cool to do this, 1 minute is not cool to do that. 1 minute you can do this, and it's a cool thing to do, and then 6 months from now they be like, wow, you're late, you're still doing that. So why allow the immaturity or inconsistency of a generation or people to drive or push forward, a new action or behavior that you want to do that's best for you?
what do you mean?
So, like you said, okay, but if they have influence, so they're going to tell this person, they're going to tell that person, and by the time you look up, everybody at the school is going to be like they fake. And it's like, so what?
It's like, so what? But you can keep the mindset, I don't care what nobody thinks. So what? I'm gonna do me. But deep down, you're gonna have a thought of like, oh, that's how they think of me. They don't even know me. Like, you can't say that it's not gonna phase you, because deep down you know it's gonna phase you.
Right, but I'm saying allow it to phase you, but not allow it to make you change what it is that you're doing.
Nowadays, kids don't have the mindset, or like, they let their feelings control their mind, and it should be the other way around. Your mind should be controlling your feelings. So, say the whole school is against you, it should phase you, but you should know that I'm this type of person. I know myself. They don't have to know me at all.
Agreed.
So, did y'all have any more questions?
No.
I do. Why do parents be like, you don't pay bills around here? Saying that's a 13, 14, 15-year-old. Knowing they can't even get a job to pay bills. So, I just feel like that's being sarcastic when it's not needed.
It's a saying.
Well, that's a comment. That's more of a comment. Like, I don't like that comment.
Right, but when you have some kids, you'll understand. Because it's just like a parent thing. Like, you pick up these, like, you could have, again, I got small kids, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's like apples and oranges when you're talking about teenagers, but sometimes they can be unappreciative. Like, thinking that, okay, we got AC, but we just gonna leave it on all day. Like, there's not a bill associated with that. Or you want to leave your bathroom light on, your room light on, the kitchen light on. Like, there's not a bill associated with that. So if I say turn off the light, you ain't paying no bills, I'm letting you know that this stuff is generating bills. I pay these bills by working, and the higher or more these bills get, that means the harder or more I have to work. So I need you to do your part by making sure that you're cleaning up or taking care of the household the best way that you know how, that I taught you to, so then you don't have to hear the comment, you don't pay no bills around this house.
Okay.
That's why I will be moving out when I'm 18.
Right.
They all say that. So in California, I don't know where y'all gonna live at. Because a 1-bedroom in a nice neighborhood is about $2,000. So I hope you guys are doing your research. Anything is possible. Everything is possible with God. But you also have to count up the cost. So, yeah, count up the cost. So, this was fun. So we'll use this to promote the other upcoming, the next upcoming part 2 to this. And then we'll have another young lady added to the equation. And I think I'm going to try to pull in some millennials. Because these are more like I think y'all are called Gen X or Z or something like that. Don't quote me, but it's something like that. It's in my phone, but we on my phone right now. Oh, this is my spoon.
Generation.
So, again, if you did not catch this video from the beginning, please do so, especially if you have a young lady you know a young lady. But also, I just need you to just replay this video so that you can comment, because we want to be able to carry the conversation on to this coming weekend, where we're going to do part 2. And it's still going to be
Heaven,
Shanti.
and then we're going to have some new faces along with myself, Shy. You are watching me on my business page, but if you're not following me on Instagram, please do so at Shy Heal Her. And then you can also join my Facebook group, Women Healing and Discovering Their Purpose. So any shout outs or tags? Y'all gonna let y'all friends know about the next one? Well,
Shout
the
out
2
to our
friends y'all have.
generation. We're the best out here.
we changing the game for real.
So this is Girls Talk, and we'll see y'all next weekend.